Hello and welcome to the Game 3 watch along with myself, Shannerz. We're watching Australia take on India at Ninja Stadium in Hobart. Can't wait for this one. And it'll be interesting to see if India can bounce back after what was a really disappointing Game 2 at the MCG, where the only one who really stood up was Abhishek. What an important innings from the young Indian opening batsman, where he really introduced himself to Australia for the first time. Mitch Marsh had an awesome fixture. He nearly got a half century, but he really dominated alongside Travis Head at the top of the order to put the game to bed early on after what was a really, really impressive bowling display by Josh Hazlewood. India have made 3 changes for this fixture. So it'll be interesting to see if they can fix up their middle order batting woes, because really they just didn't show up to the party. It was quite disappointing because Abhishek made it look easy, to be honest. Hazlewood was bowling really well. Bartlett was hit and miss. He had a very good over where he got 2 wickets though, which was quite pivotal to, kind of stat padding what was a relatively okay performance. But yeah, India need to bounce back. They had a really good first game, and so they played 3 ODIs. The first 2 were really poor. That third one, they looked dominant. And then the first 2020 in Canberra, they looked very good, but the game was rained out, unfortunately for them. And then in the MCG, they just didn't look good. So there's going to need to be a comeback. Bumrah looked really good in the middle, at the end of the innings. But the rest of the India's bowlers didn't really stand up either. So it seems like it's not really a team effort from India so far. But it'll be good to see how Bumrah goes today, with India bowling first after Shubman Gill broke his streak and he won the toss incredibly. So India will be bowling first, Australia batting first. And let's see how it all goes. Let's have a look at some of the comments. Who have we got in the chat, guys? We've got Byron. How's it going? Well done. Oh, apparently the camera is not on. Well, there you go. Let's see if I can fix that up. All right. Here we are. Hey, sorry about that. Still figuring out all this streaming software. It's been a little bit of a learning curve, all of this. But here's my setup. We've got still don't quite know how to get the scoreboard up on the screen, so we've got this whiteboard scoreboard. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Hey Byron, how's it going, man? Thanks for joining the live. I'm going to be putting some stuff on Instagram as well to make sure we get more people in the building. I'm going to throw on an Instagram live right now to see how everyone's doing. All right. Yeah, honestly. Whacker scorecard's a little depressing. What do you think, Byron? Who do you think's going to win today? Do you reckon Australia are going to go get a 2-0 win? Make my screen full. Let's see if I can do that. Let me see how I can play around with this thing. All right. All right. Making this thing a bit bigger. There we go. It's getting there. Yeah, why not? Let's just make this all the way. Let's get rid of this thing. Why not? All right. All right, guys, this is the best I can get for now. How does that look? There we go. All right, Byron's calling that India, he thinks, will bounce back. I think so too. I think India will have a bit of a shock wake-up call after what was a really disappointing performance at the MCG. They've come all this way on what is meant to be a massive tour, and they really haven't played up to expectation, especially with a home World Cup on the agenda in only a couple of months' time. Australia, I think, are surprisingly good. But it'll be really interesting to see how Australia goes because their bowling lineup today is weakened. Hazelwood is apparently being rested. Let's see if he's actually being rested or if he's actually pulled up with something to prepare for the Ashes. So Australia's bowling lineup today is Bartlett, Ellis, and Abbott, and then Koonman. Let me just double check that's correct. Yeah, that's right. So yeah, really a B-list bowling attack, but it'll be good to see them. You know, Australia needs to start giving these next generation of players some experience going into the World Cup, and then with the inevitable retirements of Cummins, Stark, Boland, Hazelwood in the not too distant future. That's a discussion that we definitely need to have. Is that Australia's bowling stocks are aging, and there hasn't definitely at test level. There's not much transition as of yet. So I'm almost worried of a 2008 like scenario where Warren, McGrath, and Co all retired. Gillespie and Kaspavic also retire, and you just had this kind of really inexperienced side, especially when Clark and Lee went as well. So you ended up with a bowling lineup of Siddle, Ryan Harris, and Peter Siddle, who weren't up to standard, at least to start off with. So I really would like Australia to try and avoid that, and it's good to see Australia giving some of these guys a go. Short Abbott I've always been a little bit harsh on because Short Abbott, he's been around for now 11 years. I was actually looking at his stats earlier. He had his first match in 2014 for Australia, yet he's only played like 20 or so games for Australia. So it'd be cool to see if he can make the most of this opportunity against a very good Indian batting lineup. What in the BBL 11 is this? I tell you, this series should be good. We're starting to see some good cricket in Australia. It was a bit dead there for a couple of years, but I think Australia's starting to put together some good series again. I almost fell out of touch with cricket a little bit between since Sam Baker-Gate and maybe 2023. I feel like it was a bit dead there, especially with the Big Bash. So with the BGT happening last year, Ashes this year, Australia and India playing right here, right now, and then the T20 World Cup, I think we're on for a really good summer of cricket. I'm going to put ourselves on live as well on Instagram to try and get a few more people in the building as India walk out to bowl after what was pretty remarkable seeing Shubman Gill win the toss. They're on Insta Live on right now too. Yeah, honestly, BGT is where it's at. I miss that. That was such a great summer. It was the first time I saw Australia really kind of put cricket on the back page for a little while. Hey guys, how's it all going? Welcome to the live. I'm over on YouTube right now, live streaming Australia versus India, the third match to be played in Australia. This one's been played in Hobart. So yeah. Jump on YouTube, catch us on the live. We've got a few people in the chat over here as we watch Australia take on India in the third match. How's it going, everyone? Good to see a few people jumping in the chat on Insta. G'day, I'm incredible. Jed, how's it going, Mohit? Good to see you all. Jump over onto YouTube if you want to catch the live watch along. Mitch Marsh's and Travis Head have come to the crease. Try and kind of put the series to bed. Oh, Jesus. Highlight comments. Might need to push that forward for the stream and all the rest. What's good, Rohit? Good to catch you. Jump over onto YouTube as we catch Australia taking on India. Logan, love you too. Good stuff, guys. I'm going to quit the Insta live stream, but I'll see you all over on YouTube. How's it going, guys? We're watching Australia take on India. I'll see you on YouTube. All right. Bye. Scientist, editor. Yeah, I reckon I'll take Sharma as well. He's the real deal. As Arshdeep is about to run in to Travis Head, who's on strike at Ninja Stadium for Game 3. Outswinger in the air through the covers, and it is going to the boundary. It's fielded just before the boundary, and they get 2 off the first ball. So good start for Australia. Bit of an outswing there to the left-hander. Drives head on the back foot, kind of swats it through. Off the back foot, through the covers. Airborne, could have been a catch if it didn't go the correct direction. Today, I think Australia will back it up. I think Australia can go comfortably 2-0, put the series to bed. Put your predictions in the live chat, guys. It's good to see so many people in the building. Travis head on the back foot, pads it down to cover, and it's no run. Mitch Marsh has been on some kind of run recently, I've got to say. And there's a lot of talk about him opening in the Ashes. What do you guys think? Do you think Mitch Marsh should get the call up to open in the Ashes? I'll have a discussion in a few moments about that. Third ball, Arshdeep into head off the back foot, clips it to fine leg, and it's 4 runs, the opening boundary of the fixture. Australia 0 for 6 off 3. Women's World Cup final is on today. Good shout, scientists. I completely forgot that, so I should have to catch that. Maybe I'll do another stream later on today. India taking on South Africa. Australia will be very disappointed that they aren't there themselves. Hey, Ian, welcome to the chat. Masood, good to have you in the building after not catching that first stream. Head hits it straight into the air. He swats it. It's fielder underneath it, and he's gone. India get a wicket in the first over. Arshdeep gets a wicket, and Travis Head is out for 6 runs. That's a disappointing start. I was looking at Travis Head's stats a little bit earlier, and I've got to be honest, in 2020 cricket, he hasn't delivered in a little while. He hasn't got a century, or half a century, I think, in 2020 cricket for over a year now. So let me just double check that, make sure I'm talking not incorrectly portraying him. Yeah, last one was in England last year. So that'll be disappointing. Travis said we'll be wanting some shorter form runs before the World Cup. And Josh Inglis comes to the crease. Yeah, India, early wicket. That's a good start for India. Much better than the last fixture. Yeah, Byron says in regards to the Mitch Marsh opening question I posed earlier, Mitch Marsh is openly saying he doesn't actually want to play, which is kind of funny. He's spoken about how he has tickets to day 1 of the Perth test because he's from Perth, and then he'll be a few beers deep by lunch. I think that's a great attitude. I really think, I've always thought this with Mitch Marsh, even though he had a real nice purple patch there for a while with the Australian team, that he should just focus on short form. Like test cricket, he's always had so much scrutiny, despite all the potential. I just think as a short form player, there's not many better in Australia right now. Why not just be the best at it? He's the captain of the short form team. The 2020 World Cup's massive for Australia. Being the captain, that's enough responsibility. So I want to see him stick to the short form personally. Anyway, Arshdeep to Inglis. Inglis pads it down to a deep gully, and it's no run. Put your predictions in the chat, guys. I think Australia is still in the box seat for this one, despite a good start from India. Yeah, Byron says India aren't ready for an Ingo century. Damn right. Everyone forgets how good Josh Inglis is. He doesn't get the plaudits he deserves sometimes. I think he's such a good player to have in the batting stocks. Inglis again pads it down to point, and it's no run. After 1 over, it's 1 for 6. Let's update the makeshift scoreboard we've got here. One day I'll figure out how to put some text on the screen. I've already been struggling with this stream so far today, so I'm just happy it's all working. Australia 1 for 6 after 1 over. Josh the boss. That's right. Josh Inglis, it's been a bit unfortunate when we got that century in Sri Lanka on his test debut from memory. Looked really good, and then he just failed to make the most of his opportunities in those remaining matches. Like, he got out in a silly way in that West Indies tour from memory, and then he's sort of been a little bit more shaky in the short form since then. So he's sort of missed his chance to make a test spot his own. But it's good to see him in the shorter forms. Anyway, Bumrah, the dangerous Bumrah, is on to Marsh for his first over. On the pads, Marsh flicks it. One bounce 4. Jeez, Marsh is in some form right now. He made that look so easy. It looked for a second it could have been caught if there was a man at square leg there. Went straight over the square leg umpire's head. Yeah, Marsh looks good there. 4. Australia 1 for 10 off 1.1. All right, Bumrah in for a second ball. Squares Mitch Marsh up, but he gets a single, hitting it to mid-on to rotate the strike to Inglis. Australia 1 for 11. Bumrah's looking fit. It almost looks like he's put on a little bit of muscle since the BGT in Australia. It's good to see him back. Even as an Australian fan, I've got to say, you just love seeing the best come over here. So, yeah, huge fan of Australia taking on the best, and Bumrah just seems like a good bloke as well. So, despite the recent reel I put up of his clash with Khawaja and Constance at the end of that SCG day. Here comes Bumrah to a packed Ninja Stadium. That's a good crowd that got in. Bumrah bowls. It's a reverse sweep. He went for the ramp, and it hits Inglis on the chest. That is Constance-esque. Just take it to Bumrah. That was totally premeditated, and Inglis is lucky that didn't clean his stumps up. He reverse switch hit ramp. It swung into him, though. It was a hard one to do it, too. But let's have a look at the comments you're getting in the chat. Byron says Inglis is the bowler to keeping. I've never heard that comparison, but I love it. Chops it on to third man. Sorry, Byron said he's the Inglis is the Boland of keeping. We got Mr. Formula One man himself in the chat. Good evening, broski. Good to see you. Thanks for joining the live. What's the thoughts of Joe Root in Australia? Well, he's never scored a century here, so it's about damn time. With the amount of crap England are talking, you'd hope you'd turn it up this summer, because England, all the pundits are predicting England win, when I'm just not having it. Bumrah bowls a full toss. Good fielding by Axar Patel, and it's a single off Inglis. Marsh is back on strike. What's the thoughts on Joe Root in Australia? Yeah, Australia's Joe Root's got to perform this summer. I expect a few runs from him. I really hope England put up a fight, but I'm not expecting them to win. I think Australia's bowling lineup is just way too good. Just way too good. Stark is entering his Mitch Johnson era. Hazelwood, you saw how good he was in that last fixture. And Pat Cummins is Pat Cummins. Bumrah, Marsh, no run. It's to cover. Australia are 1 for 12 after the first 2. 6 off Bumrah's first over. He's getting some good movement, but he wasn't necessarily bowling it in the areas he might have been hoping for. So, see if he can come back a bit stronger. If Australia can see Bumrah out here, I think they're going to be in the box seat. All right. Apologies if I missed anyone in the chat. If I miss you, apologies. Just make sure to send it again. I've got a really weird setup here. I've only got one monitor for my PC, so I've got my laptop here with KO Sports, and then my PC Master so I've got a really cheap lens that can only go so far. Anyway, arch deep into Inglis, big in swinger, hits the pad. It's a sundry to square leg, and Marsh is back on strike. All right. That's a good shout. Jake Jenkins should play as Sam Cameron for England in the Ashes. To be honest, if Jake Jenkins is playing, I think that's a benefit to the Aussies. Jake is relatively quick, though. Jake's a decent fast bowler and a decent batsman as well, so he plays like Sam Curran. But there's a few levels between the likes of Jake Jenkins and myself and the boys in green and gold. Marshall strike to Arshdeep. Hits the pad again. It's a square leg. And another single. Australia will take that. Oops. Camera's turned off. Give me a moment. All right. Making sure all is good there. What's up, Gaming God? Welcome to the live. Yeah, Byron, when Jake gets back, we 100% will be doing videos together. Anyway, Marsh pulls it off his pads and it's out down the throat of fine leg, and Arshdeep gets another. Marsh has gone for 5. Woo. Axel takes the catch. Oh, sorry, it's not Marsh. It's Inglis. Apologies. Inglis smacks it off his hip. And he's gone. Damn. India, good start here. Arshdeep Singh is playing like a man on fire. Okay. All right. 2 wickets for India. And Tim David walks out to the crease at his somewhat a home ground. He's a WA boy, but he plays for the Hurricanes, so he knows this ground well. Good start for Arshdeep Singh. Tim David gets a half century here today. He'll reach 1,000 T20 international runs. I don't know where I got 5,000 from. All right. Jesus, Australia, poor start. All right. What are we drinking? We're drinking water. That's all it is. No alcohol here today, guys. Gotta keep it family friendly, as a certain Fortnite streamer says. I did see someone mention Fortnite in the chat as well earlier. Oh, hell yeah. Byron's multitasking with watching this stream as well as playing some Fort. Where you dropping in the new Simpsons season? That's my question to the chat. Yeah, Byron's again saying Mitch Owen with the home crowd as well. But here gets Tim David. First ball on the front foot and drives it through the colours for 4. That's too easy. 2 for 18 after 2.4. Sorry, I've been sitting with the scoreboard on my lap the whole time. It's a confidence-inducing shot from the big Tim David. Claremont Netherlands product. Absolute unit. Tim David's an interesting one because like when he first started playing, even for the Scorchers back in the day, I never quite thought, I didn't know if he had it in him, in a way, to take the step up. But my God, has he taken that step up? He's been incredible since he started playing international cricket for Australia. I remember watching that century he got in the Windies. I know the ground was tiny, but he made it look tiny with the way that he was just hitting it onto the roof and all the rest. My goodness. On the pads of David, clips it to short square leg. It's no run. 2.5. The KO scoreboard's kind of broken itself, so I'm gonna have to do some research to figure out what the stats are at the moment. Australia v India. Yeah, it'll be good to see Mitch Owen, see how he goes here. He's gonna be much more of a clutch player today. Here's Arshdeep Singh in for the final ball of his over. Bowls it short. Tim David clips it down onto his foot. And it is no run to finish the over. Australia 2 for 18 after 3. What a start for Arshdeep Singh and India. It's a relatively inexperienced India side we're seeing here today. And when I say inexperienced, I mean inexperienced playing in Australia. Of course, I played plenty of IPL and all the rest, which is an advantage. I had an interesting chat with Chumbies, I think it was. I can't remember about that. It was like about how, you know, these IPL players are getting international experience before they even play international cricket. So a lot of these players are going to be well up to the task. Anyway, Bumrah in for his second over. Full toss. Marsh hits it to mid on, and it is a dot ball. David was good in the IPL for the Mumbai Indians too. Yeah, good shout. Got some Tim David and Mumbai Indians fans in the chat. It's good to see. Yeah, he's really stepped up. You know, massive unit as well. It's good. It's really entertaining when you see someone like that make their way in cricket. There is time and place for technique and all the rest, but sometimes you just want to watch a big guy just swing. Anyway, Mitch Marsh does a bit of a French cut, and it's a single to get the big Tim David, the man we're talking about, back on strike. Australia 2 for 19 after 3.2. That's a normal. Got someone in the chat asking if that's a permanent marker. No, don't worry. That is a normal marker, like a whiteboard marker. I've got a whiteboard marker here because I haven't yet figured out the digital scoreboards with all the streaming stuff, but I will when we figure this out a bit more. You guys are joining a journey, my streaming journey. You're very early on. Hopefully we can build this into something a bit bigger and maybe make a job out of it. Anyway, Bumrah to Tim David. Outside off. Tim David swings and misses off a good length. Through to the keeper. Dot ball. Jake Jenkins in the chat. Welcome to the chat, Jake. Good to have you. Yeah, it'll be good to see how Mitch Owen does today at his home ground. He was so dominant in the Big Bash League. He sort of forced the selector's hand to get his own to get a call up, and damn, he's made that position basically his own. There's no one really challenging for it apart from Cam Green, but I think he should focus on the Ashes. Anyway, Bumrah to Tim David. David over the infield. 2 bounce 4. It's a cover drive with no footwork. We love to see it, but that's what you get from the big Tim David. Australia are 2 for 23 after 3.4. Put your predictions in the chat, guys. The game is well in the balance at the moment. India, great start with Arshdeep Singh. Australia, at the hands of Marsh and David, look to kind of wrestle back a bit of control at the small Ninja Stadium in Hobart. Broski's Jake Jenkins is asking me to book my flights. Man, I'm pretty confident I'll be there in India, and I need to get on it before the prices get too big. Anyway, David pads it down to point, dot ball. Byron and Chumbies are going to be maybe catching up on some cricket when Chumbies is back in Bali. I've been following Chumbies' stories. He looks like he's having a good old time in the pool in Bali. If you guys don't know in the chat, Chumbies is a Perth Scorchers super fan. You'll see him around Optus Stadium in the WACA this summer if you watch the domestic season. Anyway, Bumrah into David, full toss. Hits it out to mid-off. Quick single, thrown at the stumps, misses. Tim David safe for the single and will retain the strike as it is the end of the 4th over and Australia 2 for 24 after 4. It's good that Australia just able to see Bumrah out here without Bumrah causing them too much trouble. All right. Jake, it'll be good to have you back in Perth after the disappointment of the Women's World Cup. Keen to catch up again soon and make some content over this summer. Apparently it's $383 via Singapore Airlines to get to India at this stage. Yeah, it'll be good to get all the boys over in India for the World Cup. That's gonna be a massive, massive summer. But if you guys in the chat are there for the first Ashes test. I'll be there for day 1 at Optus Stadium too if you want to catch up. It'll be good to see you all there if you're in Perth. Tim David. 4 off the first ball. Ah, jeez. Tim David's looking comfortable. Varun is on the attack and just gets, you got to respect Tim David. Don't bowl there. Easy runs for David on this small ground. Jake's saying, for those keen to go to India, get the passport sorted, especially you, Byron. We're looking at you. I know you're playing Fortnite right now, but get your passport damn sorted. Tim David goes bang! It looks like it's into the stands. There's the first 6 of the match. 10 runs of the first 2 balls of the new spell. David with the gold necklace on. He is emulating his form from the West Indies. Things you love to see as an Australian fan is, not just the test players coming down to the 2020 level. You love to see 2020 specialist players making those spot their own. We've got the F1 chat back in the chat. Have I watched Jurassic Park? Got the recreation of that with McLaren boys. I'm going to be honest, the tension between Oscar Piastri and Lando Norris is palpable now. I'm not liking Oscar's chances. I don't know if he can live up to the fight, and I don't know if McLaren is sabotaging his car now. They've secured the constructor's title. But all I know is it's toxic and I don't like it. Get Daniel Ricciardo back. Marshall's on strike somehow. I must have missed a single. Okay. Runners. 11 runs off the first 4 balls of his spell. Tim David is off strike now. It's a good end to the over. 4 and a 6 of the first 2 balls, but now after 5, only 11 runs. 1 ball remaining in the over. Australia 2 for 35 after 4.5. Alright, Marsh just sees it out. Just inside the wide line. Dot ball. Australia 2 for 35 after 5. What do you guys think of Australia's start? Put it in the chat, guys. What you guys think? And I will respond to it. Unless I miss it. But there's a lot of talk about passports and so forth. Which you'll love to see. Hope to catch you guys all over in India for that. Alright. Apologies for my horrible handwriting too. Alright. Let me catch up on the chat. Alright, so Jakey G Kings is saying that I've got to contact Chumbies regarding everything to do with the India tour. Byron sorting out his passport. Titus editor saying, Jake G Kings, in a sport, there's nothing more satisfying than Australia being knocked out in the Women's World Cup. This is the things you love to see, a good rivalry between Australia and the rest of the world. Do you know why everyone hates us? It's because we're good. Jessica Run Singh is asking, why don't I have membership for this channel? That's a good point. I would love to do a membership system. I'm still sorting everything out with this channel. It's been a while since I've made some YouTube videos, and this summer I really want to hit it hard. So yeah, membership is definitely something I would be interested in. So good suggestion. Rogue is asking for the Google scorecard. I think, yeah, okay, that's probably the move. It's probably much better than this whiteboard. Anyway, we're getting distracted because Tim David gets dropped on 20. Boomerang in his 3rd over. Bowls a good length delivery, or a pretty full delivery. Very full delivery, actually. Tim David slices a drive. It goes straight to point and through Washington Sundar's hands. That is actually a pretty poor drop. What do you guys think of that? Washington's looking at his hands as if there's something on it, bro. You just dropped a sitter. And they rotate the strike. Marsh on strike now to Bumrah. Marsh lofts it over the infield. And he'll get himself a single. He kind of hit off the slice of the bat. He drove it off the slice. It could have been caught, but yeah, he wasn't. So there you go. Bumrah's looking good here. Good start to his third over. If Australia can get through this, I think they will be looking good. Harshad, yo, what's up, man? It's good to have you in the live. Byron's asking, are we down for the WBBL action next Sunday? Oh, I'd love to. As Tim David goes bang off his back foot. Just absolutely stands and delivers a cross-bat shot over cover and for 4. But Tim David's looking good. That was a costly drop from Washington Sundar. But I missed whoever made that Google scoreboard comment. I think I'm going to have to do that because this isn't quite it. I don't think. Okay. Maybe for our next stream. Still got 2 games left in this series, I believe. So keen to get that all sorted ahead of the Ashes and the World Cup, which is when I want to hit this stuff hard. Bumrah into David. Bowls short. David pulls it on the ground. And to the boundary. No, it's fielded in the deep. And it's just a single. Marsh is back on strike. This is some decent batting from Australia just to keep the scoreboard ticking while they're facing their best bowlers. Byron's asking, do I know how to overlay? No. Oh, not on this streaming stuff, bro. I just downloaded this streaming software and we're in early days. But don't you worry, this is going to get better. This is going to get better. You're just at the start of my streaming journey. Anyway, here goes Bumrah to Marsh. Full toss. Marsh kind of clips it off his pads to mid-on and gets a single. That's a 6th done. Bumrah's 3rd. Australia 2 for 43. This is a nice little recovery after a wobbly start, I have to say. It was a very wobbly start from Australia. Josh Inglis and Travis had gone early. Just to recap, if you're joining the stream now for a first time, Arshdeep Singh has had a really good opening 2 overs. He's off the attack now. Varun was kind of smacked around. Now he's off the attack by the looks of it. And Tim David was dropped. Washington Sundar put down an easy chance of the bowling of Bumrah at point. We're still sorting out the lives and all the rest, Jay. Am I going to watch the F1 Brazil Grand Prix? I'd love to be honest, but it's on at like a stupid time because that game's in South America, so it's on like at like 2 a.m. or something. So we'll see if I stay up for it. I do love the Brazil Grand Prix though. That's Interlagos is my favorite track, so it'll be good to see if Oscar Piastri can bounce back. As Axar Patel is on to the attack for the first time this evening. Oh, Tim David just absolutely swings at a good length delivery outside off, and it's 6 runs down the player's tunnel over cover. Tim David's on 32 off 16 deliveries, and he is looking dangerous. Byron's saying I think he needs to help with my streaming setup. Yeah, I think I do. I just, it feels like I've been stretched out here a little bit. So I was trying to stretch it this way. I feel like I need to get a bit lower maybe or some shit. But anyway, this will do for today. 3rd ball of Patel's Axar's over. Apologies. Australia 2 for 50 after 6.4. Flying through this over. David on strike. Goes bang! Straight over the umpire's head. It's on the roof. It's on the roof and hit the Ninja Stadium logo. And Tim David knows it's good, doing his best impression of Patrick Bateman. Tim David knew that was good. Oh, he looks so good. He looks so good. Hits the Ninja Stadium logo sign. Ninja have paid their bills for something like that. What a shot. It's 2 sixes for the over. It actually hit the very, 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 very top of the Ninja Stadium logo. If it went literally a few centimeters over, it would have been out of the stadium. Axel Patel for the final ball is over. Tim David on the back foot. Cuts it to deep point, and it is a single to retain the strike. 38 off 18. Australia 2 for 56. That's looking a bit better now. Tim David is making light work at his home 2020 ground. He's from Perth, Western Australia, but he is actually plays for the Hobart Hurricanes. 2 for, what was it, 63? An ad break right now. Big hit from Tim David. Alright, I think they're 2 for 63. I assume. Maybe I'm wrong with that. No scoreboard yet to remind me of what is going on here. David cuts for 4 again. He is so good, Tim David. He's playing like a man who wants an Ashes to cap. Not that he's going to get that. All right. Sorry, Australia. I was wrong with that. Let me update the scoreboard once the scoreboard comes back online. Let's have a look at what's going on in the chat. Let's get your comments in below. Lots of people, including Jaskaran Singh, is keen to be in India. I hope to be in India too for the 2020 World Cup. Let's see if that happens. But I hope to see as many of you over there as possible. Jaskaran also says, using Boomer as a death specialist and not using Ash, a guy gets swing and opening over is next level of captaincy. Yeah, I think India are maintaining the workloads of their bowl as well here, and that's how they entered the last game so well. The only criticism that I'd have of that is they needed to get the openers out quickly in the previous game. Today, they did, so the way they're managing it's good, but they need to be a bit more adaptable. Byron, he loves Timmy David, the father. Daddy David, hell yeah. Can I do an F1 watch-along? Maybe. I don't think I'll do one for this weekend, but maybe next year for the Australian Grand Prix, I'll get onto it. Mitch Marsh advances down the wicket, and it's a single to deep point. Australia 2 for 63 now, so I don't actually need to change that. I got ahead of myself with that scoreboard after 7.3. What are you chucking on, Byron? Do you guys think Australia are still in for a shout? Let me know in the comments here if Australia are on top or not. Oh, of course. Of course. Canadian cricket, am I correct? Please tell me I've got that right. Of course. Apologies. It's good to have you in the building. Yeah, Byron, that's a good prediction. Still a pretty good game at the moment. Canadian Cricket Kid says he would watch the F1 live. Yeah, get a few people around it. Maybe I could branch out of cricket. What other sports should I cover? I do love my Australian rules football and soccer/football. I'm a huge Leeds United and Socceroos fan. And I also like my basketball. That's the game I actually played most growing up. But my height didn't exactly help me. And my shooting. Anyway, Tim David on strike. Cuts it. 3 points. Oh, my God. He just pierced 2 fielders. But he hit it so hard that it's to the boundary one more time. David has hit a 50. Jesus, he's making it look easy. That's a half century for Tim David. What would your chat? What would your T20 Australian World Cup team look like? Who would you have playing for Australia in terms of that batting lineup? Do you think it'll be the same as today, or would you be adding a lot of the boys from the Test team? Get your predictions in the chat on the side because I am interested to see, and I'll give you mine in a moment after you guys get yours in. But I think Tim David has to be there. That's one player that I'm just going to put on the... I'll already be booking his flight to India in February. F1 and football. That's another sport I should cover. As a Canadian, ice hockey. That's a good shout. I like that. To be honest, though, ice hockey, I have no idea. I've never watched an ice hockey game, and Australia doesn't really play ice hockey. Australia does play a thing called floorball, though, which is like ice hockey but on a court. I used to play that growing up, but to be honest, I don't know too much about it, but it's a fun sport to play. Jay is saying something about getting Glenn Maxwell into the side. Glenn Maxwell, I reckon, he's in the squad for this, and he was warming up with the team, but it looks like he's got some kind of injury to the hand. So that's why he's not playing. I think he'll probably play in the next fixture, to be honest. But we'll see. Is he even good enough for the team? I don't know. I'm not sure you can guarantee him a place, but we all know how good he has been throughout his career. David drives down the ground, gets himself a single. And we'll keep the strikers. It's the end of the 8th over. 2 for 72 after 8. Tim David has looked good throughout this whole innings, and that half century, as I said earlier in the stream, brings up his 1,000th run as an international cricketer. Assuming that, I wonder if that only includes Australia international runs or another nation. Because before Tim David played for Australia, he actually played for Singapore. And that was back when he was playing first grade cricket, not just first class cricket. He started playing for Singapore and in their bid to try and qualify for the World Cup. I can't remember when that was. That might have been way back in 2018 or something like that. But yeah, he won't be playing for Singapore again anytime soon now, seeing how he is playing for Australia. He retains a strike and gets a single. Deep square leg. And Mitch Marsh is back on strike. It's incredible. Mitch Marsh has only faced 13 balls despite having opened. So there you go. Tim Davis kind of farmed the strike. Let's see what's going on in the chat. Canadian cricket's telling me that I need to learn ice hockey if I want to come to Canada. As Mitch Marsh hits into the air. Will it be far enough? He's taken. Deep over cover. Marsh just kind of mishits a good length delivery from Varun. And he's gone for 10 runs. And India have Australia 3 for 73. Tim Davis the only one looking like a fight. It's almost reminiscent of the last innings. The last innings India played when Abhishek was the only one providing anything. It looks like today Tim David might be that guy. As Marsh, surprisingly, gone for only 10 despite his recent form. He is gone. And Mitch Owen on his home ground comes out to the middle to a warm reception from the Hobart crowd. Okay, we've got some team predictions in the chat. Thank you very much for responding. Okay. Okay, let me read that. Canadian Cricket Kid saying we need more Indians. Sorry. Canadian Cricket saying we need more spinners for India. That's a bit goofy. Okay. Byron's got a prediction. He's saying number 1, we got Mitch Marsh, 2 Head, 3 Steve Smith, 4 Tim David, 5 Glenn Maxwell, 6 Inglis, 7 Kerry, 8 Hazelwood, 9 Cummins, 10 Stuck, and 11 Chris Green. That is a very left field approach, but I like that. All right, then from the F1 fan in the chat, we've got Mitch. His prediction is Mitch Marsh and Travis Head with Tim David at 3. We've got also including in the team Josh Hazelwood, Glenn Maxwell, Xavier Bartlett, and Mitch Stark. Oh my goodness, Mitch Owen is gone first ball. Sorry to interrupt, but he is out for a golden duck on his home ground. And the game, just like that, has turned. Oh, Mitch Owen, that's got to be disappointing. His heart must have sunk. Let's have a look at the replay. He chops it. Oh, he doesn't even chop it on. He just misses. He stands there with a horizontal bat, and it goes through the gap, and it hits the top of off. And Mitch Owen is gone for a golden duck. As I fix up my camera one more time. Also got to figure out how to make that not happen. It's a very amateur stream. Okay. Byron is also saying Cam Green definitely needs a chance, a great all-rounder. F1 Dude is saying honourable mentions, Inglis and Cam Green. Byron also says Kunman and Chris Green have to be the spinners. I will get back to this conversation as Varun is about to come in for a hat-trick ball against Stoyan as he comes to the crease at 4 for 73. My scoreboard is so far behind because it's not a automated one. Okay, 4 for 73. Jesus, how the tables turn. Stoyan is to the crease. Unfortunately, I mean, I've got to be honest, it's surprising seeing Stoyan play. As I said in the previous stream, I think he is slightly past it. But he's had an incredible career for Australia, and it doesn't hurt for Australia to add a little bit of experience. So seeing him make an attempt to give himself a ticket to India doesn't hurt. Hat-trick ball for Varun. He comes in. Oh, Stoyan pulls out. And he is not having it. The tension in the air is palpable. Here he comes into bowl. It was a good length. And it's on the legs. It drops slightly short. And it's a single. Stoyan is off strike. Varun 2 for 13 after 1.4. He's bowling very well. Now back to the chat. What's some of the predictions for the 2020 team you guys see? Byron saying... Byron is saying... that Kerry isn't really a 2020 player. That's an interesting take. Tim David through the covers for a single. Yeah, it's an interesting point. I mean, when you have Inglis playing so well and having played so well in the previous World Cups, it's hard to say for Kerry. If you took Josh Philippi, maybe Kerry could get a miss. But I think Inglis has to have that spot ahead of him. Jay is saying Mitch Owen might get dropped. Yeah, look, I was just hyping him up. He's played so well in the Big Bash and done well in his opening games, but that was a bad time to get out in your home game. You know, when you're really vying for a spot in the World Cup, especially with the likes of Cameron Green, waiting in the wings. That is not... You want to make yourself undroppable when you're not one of these, certainties. And unfortunately, I think a few players in this series are missing out on their chances. Byron is having surgery on Jan 14th, so he might have to go to India late. Fair enough, mate. If you can make it at any point, it'll be great to see you there. Canadian Cricket is saying India plays better on Indian pitches. Yes, absolutely. I think some of my favourite 2020 series growing up were watching Australia travel to India. I feel like that was always a really good challenge for Australia, but Australia rarely won. But as I said in my previous stream, my favourite ever series was Australia's ODI tour to India in 2013, I think it was, when Mitchell Johnson came back. No one really talks about that, but that was when he actually came back and started his career turnaround in the lead up to that 13-14 Ashes series. And it's when George Bailey also earned himself a test cap because of how well he was playing in that ODI team at the time. Anyway, Axar Patel is on for his second over. India, let me update the scoreboard. Australia are 4 for 76. Jesus. This is amateur hour out here. I'm just going to move this over here. Thank you, everyone, for being part of the stream so far. If you haven't yet subscribed, please do. Axar Patel to Stoinis. Stoinis reverse sweeps to a place where there's no fielder. It looks like it's 4 to fine leg. Well placed, Mr. Stoinis, showing his experience. Very well played, Mr. Stoinis. What are my thoughts on Fernando Alonso? Chat asks. That's good. That's good. Good question. I mean, Fernando Alonso's clearly got a lot of class about him, but he is very old. He's like one of the oldest players he's the oldest F1 driver in history. So, yeah, it's good to see him go about. It'll be great if Aston Martin build a good car next year. He does it again. Stoinis reverse sweeps, and it actually was so fine it nearly got caught by the keeper. But he gets 2 runs because there's no fielder there. So it's actually pretty smart playing from Stoinis. He's made his way to 5 runs, or 7 runs off 4 balls. There you go. I missed that from Byron and Canadian Cricket Kids. Apologies about the wicketkeeper discussion. Patel into Stoinis, and he cuts it to deep mid on, I think, or deep point, somewhere between that. And it's a single to get Tim David, the dangerous Tim David on strike, who's just hit a half century, 1,000 runs as an international cricketer, and he's on 56 off 27 balls. He's looked like the danger man, hitting it over 2 a ball. He nearly hit one out of the stadium earlier. David hits it to the same area of ground. They rotate the strike again. Pretty lost in the chat, guys. Who died? Somebody died according to GamerGod2766. Stoinis is on strike to Patel. And he hits it straight back to Axar. Byron asks a good question. What's my prediction for the World Cup? I mean, it's been played in India, so you have to favour the subcontinent teams. But from previous tournaments, I think India, sometimes the pressure can get to them. But I think India will win the World Cup. But Australia, England, Pakistan, even New Zealand, I think all have a good shout. And South Africa. I personally, and a lot of Australians do this, we forget how good South Africa is. We totally got caught out from the World Test Championship final. That was a surprise for Australia to lose that. Never count South Africa out either, even though they have yet to win a 2020 tournament. All right, what else is going on in the chat? Thanks, Gamer God. That's very nice of you guys to say. Jay, Canadian Cricket Kid is predicting South Africa to win. That's a good shout. Yeah, no, I think South Africa will be in for a really, really good tournament, and I reckon they could break their short form hoodoo. Jay is asking my Ashes prediction. That's a good question. As Tim David goes down the ground to Varun and hits another maximum into the 10th row. It's dropped by the crowd. and blood is going crazy. My Ashes prediction. I did this last time. I'm probably all over the place with this, but I predict Australia to win either 3-1 or 4-1. I reckon I'm giving Australia. I'm giving England one match to win, but they're not winning the series. I think their pundits, their ex-players, and even just their current players are going into this Ashes series way, way, way too confident. I think Australia's fast bowling quartet is going into their prime, and I don't think any opposing batting lineup can handle it. In Australia, I think Australia's bowlers are just too good. Stuart Broad can say all he wants about, this being the weakest team. That is absolute crap. Like, that is outrageous because of how good Australia's bowlers are. If you look at the batting lineup, maybe you have your arguments. Australia's weakest team in the last decade was back in like 2011 or something. That's a bit over a decade, but they still had Ponting, Clark, Hussey, Warner even then, But, okay, make the arguments all you want about how weak Australia's openers are, but our bowlers are too good. So I think Australia 4-1. Which is probably different to my last prediction, but I'm all over the place with this. To David on strike, and he goes again! Low, hard, and it's a 6 again. Varun's causing the Australians so many troubles, yet Tim David does not care. Australia 4 for 98. Whoops, it's been a while since I've updated this thing. Australia 4 for 98. After 11. 11 overs. There we go. Put your Ashes predictions in the chat, guys. What do you guys think? Byron's predicted Shield stalwart Cameron Gannon's going to get 50 wickets and win the World Cup for the United States. Have the United States even qualified? I know Canada has, from memory. Canadian Cricket Kid, can you fact check me on that one? It'd be good to see Canada back at it again. Their revival in cricket is really good. I've actually uploaded, or I will be re-uploading a Canadian cricket video essay on my channel. I used to run Stumped, a cricket YouTube channel with 15,000 subscribers. That got slowed down from copyright, but that's how I started this whole Shannerz spiel. I was doing some video essays. Thankfully now, because of the collaborations, I can collaborate with my own self. And catch up on those video essays. I did one. I just collaborated on a United States cricket one that I did back in 2021 when I had a little bit more hair and I was a bit younger. F1 man is predicting Ashes. Travis Head's going to get 300 runs. Yeah, I think Travis Head could be a top scorer this Ashes series. To David on strike. Off the back foot. Pads it to cover. No run to Patel. USA has qualified, according to Byron. And Byron says he'll send me the groups. Yeah, man. I need to catch up on my T20 World Cup stuff at the moment. And I think there's one more place still open for team to qualify. Yeah, let me know if the audio is glitching, chat. I hope it's not. To David on strike, Daxar Patel. It's no run down to somewhat of a deep gully. To David retain strike against Axar Patel. Jay is predicting that Steve Smith and Labuschagne are going to cook in the Ashes this year. I like your prediction, sir. Axar Patel bowls to Tim David. Tim David low, hard, one bounce four, over cover again. David could be on for a century here. That probably gave him the commentator's curse there. But he is playing really, really, really well. Yeah, Jay, I agree. I think Labuschagne is coming back into form right at the perfect time. Labuschagne got a century in Shield, got a century in the ODD, the one-day domestic stuff. And, man, there's all this talk about him being dropped. I don't think he can drop him. I don't want him opening, though. I'll say that. I don't think he should be opening. In the World Test Championship final, he looked really shaky. So did all of Australia's batsmen, to be fair. But I think... I don't think you can have him opening. Australia's batting lineup for this Ashes series is going to be really, really interesting. Put your Ashes batting lineups in the chat. I know we did that in the last stream, but I'm interested to see where you're all at. Because last one, I almost think I might change my answer. Dubé into Marsh. Marsh is well gone. Stoinis. And Stoinis pushes hard for 2 between the fielders. Yeah, guys, they're showing the replay on KO of the drop of Tim David early in his innings. We forget that. Tim David slammed it to Washington Sundar at point. And that drop is proving costly because India were in cruise control at that point. But Australia is doing a good fight back here as Stoinis on strike. He pulls. It's off the splice of the bat, but it doesn't matter because it's going all the way into the grass hill, and it's 6 runs. Byron is saying that he sent the 2020 groups to my Insta via DM. Thank you, Byron. Appreciate that. Byron, a fellow WA cricket member, someone from Perth. It's good to have some locals in the chat. Canadian cricket dude is saying, is Constas going to be playing in the World Cup? I don't think so. I think he is... to be honest, I don't think he's going to be playing international cricket for some time. A full toss! And Stoinis goes exactly where he just was, onto the grass hill, flicks it this time off the pads, and it's 2 sixes in a row to Stoinis, who's really making a strong case for him to be on that flight to India in the World Cup. But yeah, to answer your question, I don't think Constas will be playing in the Cricket World Cup or international cricket anytime soon. As we see Jake Jenkins is back in the chat. Is Tim good? Yeah, Tim David's pretty good, isn't he? Canadian Cricket Kid is saying English media is going to have a field day with Bancroft after Byron suggests Bancroft should play. Again, I reckon 2 years ago Bancroft should have been called up after all that form he had, but Warner stuck to his guns and held onto that opening spot for 1 year too long. I think Bancroft should have played then, because as soon as that opening spot opened, when they were looking for someone to fill in, Bancroft fell out of form, and it was really between McSweeney, Constas, Bancroft, and Renshaw for that spot. But Renshaw and Bancroft just were playing really poorly at the time. So yeah, make sure Bancroft's just had a really, really unfortunate career, and also against England, I think English cricket media would go crazy, because yeah, he was caught cheating for Sandpaper Gang, but there's also some dodgy stuff happening in the Ashes series before where he was pouring something into his pocket. Stoinis on strike. Yorker, quick single. These guys are playing some good 2020 cricket throughout the middle order at the moment. Get your comments in the chat, guys. Okay, Jay is saying thoughts on the Women's World Cup semi-final. Yeah, that was really disappointing. You should ask Jake, who's in the chat right now. That was really sad to see. You know, Phoebe Litchfield played such an incredible first innings there. Got herself a really nice century where she was looking like Glenn Maxwell out there doing these reverse hits and so forth. And Australia had been so dominant throughout the series. But a lackluster middle order performance, as well as sloppiness in the field, cost Australia big time. Anyway, we watched Tim David hit it deep, and he's gone! Oh, I gave him the commentator's curse. That is a game-changing wicket for Australia. Oh, it's a shame to see. I wanted Tim David to get his century. He was playing so well. The ground he knows very well. It was going to the boundary, but there was a good catch in the deep. David's gone. Tim David is out. He puts his thumbs up to the crowd. What an innings from David. He got himself 74 runs. He can go to sleep well tonight knowing he did his all for Australia. Looking at the chat, bit of back and forth. Good banter. I'd love to see Australia go over to India and win the World Cup. I hope to see you all there. The F1 guy has got his predictions for Australia in the Ashes. His predictions are Constas and Kawaj opening, Steve Smith, Trav said, Mitch Marsh, it's a good call. Come back. Alex Carey, Hazelwood, Mitch Stark, Pat Cummins, and Scotty Boland. Good stuff. That changes the game. Looks like there's a slight break in play. Give me a moment. I'm just going to grab something from the kitchen. So, give me a moment. All right, we're back. Apologies for that. I wanted to grab a banana. Quick bathroom break, and we're back as Shannerz hits it through the covers of Axar Patel. Australia 5. Jesus. I need to update the scoreboard again. All right. We are into our 13th over here. My goodness, so much has happened. Australia ticking along nicely. I didn't even realize the score. Australia 5 for 122 off 13.2 overs. Okay. Shannerz on strike. All right. Let's look at what was missed in the chat. Byron saying, yeah, we absolutely will be there. Short clips it around his hip. It's a better start than the previous match. We got clean bowled first ball off Bumrah. That was pretty devastating. Yeah, it's a good shout, Canadian cricket kid. He thinks that Australia will suffer in the India World Cup because of the spinning pitches. Matt Short hits it to cover. It's a dot ball off the back foot. Axar Patel does a decent over. And that's the end of the 13th over. 14th over. All right. Australia 5 for 125. All right. What I would say, I wouldn't have Sam Collins this open. I think he's too out of form. He hasn't been playing well in the Shield. I would be choosing Jacob Weatherald myself. Usman Khawaja will play, but I think he almost shouldn't. But I do love Khawaja. I would be playing Matt Renshaw instead of him. Steve Smith, Travis said, always good shouts. Mitch Marsh is a good shout. Now, personally, I'll probably be picking Cam Green or Bo Webster. But I respect your shout for Mitch Marsh to be playing. Because Mitch Marsh, he's scoring runs. And you got to respect that. And then, yeah, Hazelwood, Stark, Cummins, and Boland. 4 fast bowlers. I do like that. Interesting choices. I would be choosing a slightly different team. But I respect it. Byron saying we'll always have a batter stand up to spin. Maxwell loves spin, but we'll have to see what we get there. Yeah, Maxwell does do very well in India. So I think, even though he might not necessarily be the best player at the moment, Australia's best 6, for India, you have to play him because that's where he does so well. Yeah, Byron saying Renshaw as well. Yeah, that's a good shout. Getting roasted for this layout. I do apologize. I'm still sorting out all this streaming stuff. So Yeah, I promise we'll get better. At the start of my stream, so that's a scoreboard there. We'll get there. Sort of feel like a bit crammed. That was odd, but sort of a bit crammed into the YouTube screen. I think Byron's going to be helping me out with trying to figure this out. Maybe in the next WBBL game with Chumbies or something. Stoinis hits it down the ground for a single. Varun here is on for his final over. He's bowled very well, especially that over where he got 2 wickets. Game changers. Australia was in cruise control at that point. We got Mitch Owen and Mitch Marsh from memory. Correct me if I am wrong. Oh, good brother. But objectively, this is pretty bad. Let's be real. Zoe's saying this should be the setup, so maybe that's pretty OG stuff there. Anyway, that's the end of the 15th over. Australia are 5 for 130 in the box seat here, but we'll see how India responds to this. All right, what is your score predictions for the end of this match? Australia, I'm predicting Australia goes pretty big, to be honest. If these two can stay at the crease, I reckon Australia could be on for a big totally. I'm predicting Australia get 187 runs, predicting 5 for 187, which I think would be defendable. That being said, Ninja Stadium is pretty small. So if Abhishek gets going, Australia could be in trouble. Okay, at the end of this over, I might play around with the settings of this setup. Abhishek is on the attack, speaking of the man, and gets a dot ball as Stoinis cuts it to deep gully and doesn't get a run. Byron. Nah, I think I changed my hotspot. Couldn't have you stealing my data. All right, Stoinis goes bang through the covers, but gets a single as a fielder out in the deep. Bit of back and forth in the chat as everyone predicts Australia's lineup. Getting roasted for my setup. Justifiable. This will get better. It will get better. Jay is having a good take, saying I should clip moments from the live and put it online. I like it. As short pulls slog sweep, and it's over the boundary for 6. Fielder there. Arshdeep Singh goes for the catch over the boundary line, but yeah, he's not able to hold on to it as he's forced to keep his feet on the ground, and yeah, he gets caught out there. Yeah, Jay, I like your shout to clip up some moments. Yeah, I like that. And if you guys also want to clip up stuff and put it online, I won't ever copyright strike it or anything, but I will do it myself as well. Put it on the Shannerz Insta and TikTok. And maybe even YouTube Shorts. Trying to grow there with not much luck so far. Byron's got a few things. India is way in front at Hobart. He's saying it's a tiny ground and that you need at least 200 at Ninja Stadium, as he saw last year in the Big Bash final. Okay, that's not a bad shout. I think, yeah, Australia needs to start piling on the runs. And Stoinis sweeps but falls over. Hits it to the deep player at mid-on and gets a single. Mark Wall with KO is saying Australia needs at least 180. As Abhishek is getting to the end of his over, not doing too bad for the part-timer. Matt Short lobs it over the the bowler. Oh, poor fielding effort. They dive at the boundary, and he almost helps it on its way for 4. India will be ruining that chance. This was not a bad over for Abhishek, but now 4 to end it. Means that there's 13 off the over. Whoops. Camera goes off again. I'm going to have to fix that up with this going forward as well, chat. All right. Yeah, misfield from Shubman Gill. All right. Australia 5, 143 after 16 overs. They'll be hoping to go at least 10 and over. My prediction was 187, I believe it was. Put your score predictions in the chat. What do you think Australia will get? And do you think it's defendable? As Doob is back on for his 3rd over. He's 1 for 30 after 2 to start the 16th over. Stoinis cuts. Bang! Past the deep fielder. And it's 4 runs. I don't need to update that. 4 runs to Stoinis. He's actually playing a fine innings. He's on 41 and putting up his hand for a selection in Australia's 2020 World Cup squad. Byron's asking if we're doing backyard averages. That's not a bad shout. I haven't thought about that. Yeah, Jake Jeekings definitely has been interested in doing some more cricket clips, so maybe I can jump in with him, get some more stuff online. As Dude comes in, he'll be hoping for a better ball after that previous one. Ball's a good length delivery. Stoinis lofts it over to the man at deep mid off and gets a single with Matt Short back on strike. Matt Short hasn't played a bad innings. He's 13 runs off 7 balls. Bro, eat banana. That is right, broski. And F1 man is asking for an F1 prediction. I am predicting Mercedes do all right. They always do well at the Brazil Grand Prix, so I'm predicting a George Russell win, Max Verstappen P2, and Oscar Piastri P3. As Matt Short clips it off his feet down to deep mid on, and he gets a single. All right. I think Australia have to start turning it on a bit here. I know they don't really have much depth here, but Sean Abbott does know how to swing a bat. Australia will be slightly disappointed with this total. They'll have to bowl very well, but without Josh Hazelwood and their frontline pace attack, I think Australia could be in a little bit of trouble to the likes of Abhishek. As Stoinis gets underneath it, it's going deep. And it's over the infield, but lands before the man at deep mid-off. And it's another single with Short back on strike with 2 balls to remaining this over. And Australia notch up 150 runs. Byron says Jake Jiggins wants to do some content for WBBL. Yeah, that sounds about right. Gets some support around the women's cricket. It's great to see the growth of the women's game as Short, off a good length, pulls it, and it's 4 runs. Short just stands and delivers with his trademark big backswing and just follows through on the leg side and gets a boundary. Yeah, just a good length ball outside off, and Short just swings. Looks like made it look like Dube was bowling 90 kilometers an hour the way he just stood and delivered there. Too easy. As the sun is setting in Perth, West Australia, I'm getting a bit of sunlight on my face. Dube in for the final ball of his spell. Or not the final ball of his spell, but it don't matter because Short goes straight down the ground and gets himself a single. To finish the over, Australia 5 for 156. Actually got a double there of 17. 5 for 156. If you guys got any YouTube video suggestions, please put them in the chat, as I'm looking to make some more longer form content over this summer. All right, and now it's the end of the hour. I'm going to try to fix this setup a little bit. Let's try and stretch this damn screen up. Okay, I'm gonna edit this thing. Can I make that? Let's just let's do the intermission, transition. All right, live scene. All right, let's see what I can do here. Nope. Oh God, no, I don't think I can change that. Sorry, guys. So we're gonna go back to the live scene with it looking exactly the same. Anyway, Arshdeep Singh's back on. Bowls a full toss. Stoinis punches it. And it's caught! Stoinis is gone for 43. Arshdeep Singh, the danger man. He is having a field day out there. Arshdeep Singh, what a game he's having. He bowled a full toss. And Stoinis just mistimed it. Arshdeep Singh's just getting a little bit lucky, but sometimes that's what you need. But the umpires are having a look at something. Something is off with the umpires. Having a review for whether he got the hands underneath the ball. Looking in at the slow-mo. I think he looks comfortable, does he? Oh, no! Oh, that has got the sense of Australia. We're going to be looking at that one more time. He might have got his fingers underneath it. He might be okay. But it looks like it hits the ground. It looks like, what do you guys think in the chat as I come in closer to have a little look at this? We've got Pixlars coming into the chat. Thank you for joining us from the Insta story. It's great to see some people from Instagram coming over to the YouTube. And those who have, make sure to subscribe for more content like this. Canadian Cricket is saying Max Verstappen is winning the Brazil Grand Prix. Twittergas is saying Lance Stroll podium because it's raining all year. That's actually good F1 knowledge. Lance Stroll is very good in the rain. What do you think is Haram tactic in cricket? Well, Test cricket will be putting everyone on the boundary, wouldn't it? Anyway, Stoinis survives. Incredible. And they're actually going to run for it as well. The umpire determines that they didn't get their hands underneath it. So Stoinis survives. Being asked my thoughts on Lance Stroll, as I said, he's really good in the rain, surprisingly, which is usually where it's separated between the good drives and bad. But he's really good. I remember getting that pole in Turkey back in the day, back when he was with Racing Point, same team, but different colours. But I find it very annoying, pretty pretentious, as Stoinis cuts to the boundary. And it's 4 runs. It's like a bullet off the bottom of the bat. Thoughts on Sheffield Shield Game Week 3? Byron is asking. To be honest, I haven't caught up with this week, so I need to watch all the highlights and everything so far. I was hoping to go to the game at the WACCA, but I just didn't get the chance. To be honest, I've been pretty busy, and I'm also trying to take this a bit more seriously, so didn't get the chance, but I'm keen to go to the next Sheffield Shield round. It's good to see Bancroft get a century, though, I'll say that. Good ball from Arshdeep Singh. Bowls a Yorker just outside off, and it's a dot ball. Australia 5,162. They'll be hoping to really accelerate at the end here. Jeez, that was centimetres away from the off stump. Byron's saying Constance just leaving one on middle stump from the Shield was definitely the best moment for the round. Yeah, I did see that clip from KO Sports on Instagram, and yeah, Constance isn't doing himself any favours. Arshdeep Singh bowling, the man on fire, bowling to Stoinis. Another Yorker. Oh, it just misses the man at point on the full, and it just goes past him. It's 4 runs and a 50 to Stoinis. Well played, Marcus Stoinis, the big unit. He is playing very well and putting my predictions to bed. He's playing very well. So it's good to see a bit of depth in Australia's T20 stocks when you get the likes of Marcus Stoinis coming back from quite a while out of the international team. and getting a 50. Wide Yorkers and the fielders on offside in limited overs is actually, it is good tactics, but there's only so much you can do when you're only allowed so many players outside the inner circle. But it looks like they are adjusting for that. Arshdeep Singh's bowling very well, very accurately, but Stoinis is batting very well. But now they've put a player where Stoinis just hit it, and you imagine he's going to bowl another wide Yorker. No, he bowls it short, and Stoinis lofts it over third man, and it's a one bounce 4. That's not good bowling. I gotta be honest. That was just a chest high, short ball. Stoinis is looking really classy. So very well played, Stoinis. That just had some real elegance to it. Yeah, Byron's calling out when Heskett fell over. Was he the bloke who went into... So in the WACA, there's all these redevelopments at the moment in the Shield. And one of the WA boys, or was it WA? I can't remember who it was, went... There was a 6 hit. He had to go into the construction, and with the metal studs on the concrete, he just slipped on his ass. And I got to be honest, that's got to have some insurance concerns. We had the WACA and Cricket Australia posting it on their reels, and in my head, I'm sort of like, do you really want that on your social media? Like, it's almost like an insurance hazard. That, because imagine if someone got injured. But I don't mean to be the fun police out here, because it was pretty funny when he fell over. Now, in Australia, a 5 for 170 after 18. This is a good close to the innings. And Bumrah is on the attack. My prediction was 187 for Australia to get. Matt Short is on strike. Bumrah comes in for his final over. Bowls it full. And Australia try and make a quick single. It's a direct hit. Matt Short was reaching. Bumrah appeals, but I've got to be honest, I think Matt Short is safe. What do you guys think? The F1 fan in the chat is talking about Max Verstappen coming from P17, going up to first place in Brazil. Yeah, everyone always forgets how good Verstappen is. Stoinis is on strike to Bumrah. Stoinis, big swing, gets the toe of the bat. It's a single out to mid. On. Oops, after 18. Forgot to update that. Matt Short's worked his way to 22 as Stoinis is on 57. Bumrah 0 for 22 after 3.2 at Ninja Stadium. Bumrah to Short. Hits it off his toes to a deep mid on, and they're coming back for the second. And it's another direct hit. India feeling pretty well in the late stages here. Yeah, I'm kidding. Yeah, my partner, I think, was just leaving the house there. Apologies for that. She's in and out at the moment. Sorry. Yeah, I might need to... I don't know if she was going in or out, but yeah. Full ball from Bumrah as Short gets a little quick single to rotate the strike. Again, Australia's doing pretty well here to keep the strike ticking over, even when they're not getting the big runs. Australia would have hoped off the likes of Abhishek to be getting bigger runs. Showing the replay from Bumrah clean bowling Matt Short for the MCG. Damn, that was pretty good. That was very good. And it didn't Bumrah like it. But anyway, he hasn't managed to do that today. As Bumrah comes to Stoinis. Whoa, slower ball! And Stoinis was just, had no idea. Was backing away, off balance, nearly clean bowled and missed the bottom of off stump by millimeters. No, Byron is not in the house. Okay, but Byron has come and helped out Jake and myself at Snap Fitness. He came to meet us when we had the meet and greet, which was pretty cool, and he even made the cut in the feature. Anyway, Boomerang to Stoinis, slower ball, and Stoinis kind of hits it at a really full length, gets a single, and to be honest, that's a masterclass of death bowling. Boomerang showing how it's done, you know. Okay, catching up with what's going on in the chat. What's my favorite weather in F1? Wet or dry? It's got to be wet. But it is very annoying when it's wet and then it's too wet and then they keep on delaying the race. It's very annoying. Jake G-Kings saying, Shannerz, WBBL, let's go. 9th of November. Hell yeah, let's make it happen. Keen to make some content together, Jake, when you are back. Especially some WBBL content, get some coverage towards the girls. I haven't done my due diligence in covering the women's game, so keen to get some more going forwards. As Arshdeep Singh comes in for his final over, bowls a full toss at Stoinis, clips it off his legs to deep on the leg side, and they sneak 2 runs. Well batted there, well ran as well. Camera's dying. Yes, you are right. I do see that. I also have a spare battery here, so I might try and hope the camera lasts the rest of this innings, and then I'll swap it over. Yeah, all good guys about the camera. This is I got the spare battery here, prepared for that. This camera I think I'm using is not quite it. It's making the very wide screen and very zoomed in as Stoinis goes bang through the covers. 1 bounce 4. Stoinis is playing so well. Catching even an Australian fan like myself by surprise. Stoinis is up to 64 runs, catching up to Tim David's total. He's finishing the innings out in style and showing that the old man, the Unk, has still got it. Byron's still waiting for his free membership for helping out at the Snap Fitness Center. Fair enough. We've got some BBL chat in the comments. Come on, Orange Army. It's a Perth Scorchers fan. Hopefully Perth can go and break records again this season. Arshdeep Singh into Stoinis. Bowls a full toss. Stoinis pumps it to the deep fielder and is gone. Just after I compliment him, he's out. Great innings from Marcus Stoinis. 64 runs off 38 deliveries. And Arshdeep Singh gets another. He's 3 for 30. Let's update the scoreboard. Australia 6 for 182 with 4 balls in the innings remaining. Two balls remaining. Apologies. 19.3. Yeah, it was a full toss. Six things getting a little bit lucky, but he also got unlucky with that dropped chance. Yeah, I did jinx it, guys, Jay. The well called. I apologize. Marcus Stoinis, well played still nevertheless. He's playing very well at the moment. Yeah, we've got some comments as well about Ashwin playing this summer in the BBL. It'll be great. That's I think what's stopping the BBL from going to bigger levels is Indian players not playing. So Ashwin playing is very good for the health of the league. Is Arshdeep Singh, Arshdeep Singh into Xavier Bartlett, and they get a quick single to get Matt Shaw back on track. That's well done by Bartlett. Matt Shaw's got to go crazy these last 2 balls. I want to see it hit the Ninja Stadium sign like Tim David did. Arshdeep Singh, man of the match performance so far. He's been a bit lucky, but he's got some key wickets to curtail the momentum of Australia. Am I doing N? I know what that means. I'm not going to comment on that. Oh, short goes to ramp, a full toss. Arshdeep Singh follows him, and Matt Short ends up ramping it into himself, and they get a single for Xavier Butler to go back on strike for the last ball of the over. Hasn't been the most impressive series so far from Matt Short, I've got to be honest. Hopefully Matt Short can pull together some better results in the closing innings or matches of this series, because he'll be vying for a spot on the plane. Final ball of the innings to Xavier Butler. He swings hard down the ground. They're running hard. Will it go to the boundary? No, it's deep. It's fielded in the deep. Washington Sundar ditches it in, and they get 2 runs. And Australia 6 for 186. I predicted 187, so gotta be honest, I'm pretty proud of myself for that. Do you think Australia has got a defendable total here with the likes of Sean Abbott, Xavier Bartlett, and Nathan Ellis alongside Kuhneman bowling for Australia? India need 187 to win. What do you guys think? We've got some F1 comments. He hates Lando Norris. He hates Nico Rosberg. I get a sense he doesn't like big personalities. Confirm the Canadian cricket kid. Nah. Not going to be commenting on any of that, but appreciate the questions. Canadian cricket kid lost it to Stoinis. Alright. This has been a lot of fun. I'm only going to stream the first inning, so I'm going to call it there, guys. Thank you so much for watching this. Going forwards, next match we might do the full thing. This one, I've only got time for the first innings. So thank you all for catching the live watch along. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't yet, and leave a comment down below if you want me to continue making these. But appreciate everyone who's joined the stream today. Everyone for commenting. Sports Game Addicts, good to have you in the chat. Byron, Canadian Cricket Kid, Jay, all the rest, the F1 dude. It's been great chats, but I'm going to jump off now. And yeah, thank you so much, guys. W's in the chat, W stream. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it, guys. I'll catch you later. All right. See you guys.